So this is a Chandler. It's made by Bernina. Everything I see, these are Berninas, and they're the 950. They have an industrial sewing machine table, clutch motor, knee lift. So it's set up like an industrial sewing machine. So I'm going to call this a Bernina 950. I assume Chandler called it a 950. I'm not sure. If you know, put it down in the comments. So I've learned that Chandler made some of their own machines, and they also branded other people's machines. They used Adler and they used Bernina. I got that information from a good source here. Check him out on Instagram. He's pretty entertaining. Bernina has a very good reputation for making high quality machines, and this machine is no exception. So this is made by Bernina. It's made in Switzerland. You can operate the foot lift by hand, and then there's a knee operated foot lift. It's got 21 different stitches. It has a buttonhole feature, so you can disconnect the feed dogs for hand embroidering, and then back to a feed. So you can choose whether the machine feeds the material or not with this switch. Stitch length and reverse here. Center of the knob is for left, center, and right. And you've actually got some halfway points built in there. It's a 5-position switch. So right and center and left, and then halfway between the two. Maybe that's helpful. I don't know. So for a straight stitch, I'm just going to put it on center, and then put the width selector, which is right here. This will do a wide zigzag. This will do a straight stitch. Okay, so now I know when I see those lines, I'm approaching the end. Alright, that's the end of the pattern. Or the beginning. The end and the beginning. So this solid bar indicates that we're somewhere in the middle of the cam progression. And so I'll move the machine forward, and eventually we'll see, okay, right here, this dark line, okay, right there where it's lined up straight in the middle, that dark line tells you that you're exactly in the center. And so if you want to do a turn, or you want to start right in the middle, or you want to end right in the middle, you're halfway through. So then if you continue on, it's still with the dark line, and then you start to get these we'll say dotted lines, and that's telling you you're approaching the end of the pattern. Okay. And that right there, that red line, that's at the beginning of the pattern. You can put it on the red line, and when you start sewing, it's going to start at the beginning of a pattern, and so you'll get the whole pattern. So that's a nice feature. Helps you start and end your pattern where you want it. Now on this window, this is the tension indicator. After reading the manual, it says that normal tension will be on this red line. This red line is your starting point. So you can start there. You're going to get a stitch that's not totally out of whack, and then you can just adjust it from there. It gives you a good starting point. I like that. So we come up to the top of the machine, and here's that window right here. And then you can see it's clearly labeled more and less, plus and minus. So more tension, less tension. You can see when I adjust this higher to the plus, you can see the indicators moving up to that 7.5, and then back down to 5, clear down to 2.5. They've really done a good job simplifying the adjustments and the feedback for the user. Up here we have a bobbin winder. It kicks off whenever the bobbin's full. It's got a thread cutter here. When you're loading a bobbin, you can disengage the hand wheel with this knob on the end. This machine is super smooth. It just doesn't vibrate much. This is full speed. This kicks off when it gets full. And so there you have a bobbin that's loaded and ready to go. So here's a bobbin and the case. You hold this like a P. So the thread is the line and this is the circle of a P. And so that's the way you insert it. And you're going to come up through the slot. It's right there. And then you pull it underneath the spring. There's a little slot in the tip of that spring, and that's where you want the thread to come out. It comes out right there, right out of the slot in the tip of the spring. Bernina calls that the T slot. Okay, so let's thread it. It's through a guide here on the back. And then it comes right forward, just pull it right down through this slot. So we've come up through this slot, thread comes out right here, and basically we're going to make a Z pattern. So straight down, there's a hook here, straight up to the take up, and then we're going to complete the Z from the take up lever. I'm going to go right under this bar through that slot, and then go around this bar at the top of the needle, and then thread the needle front to back. So I want to bring you in here to show you how to change a foot. It's unique to Bernina. They have special feet. If I raise it, this is a no tool operation, so there's a lever here. Just pull that lever back and the foot will just come right off. And you can kind of see there's a conical shape, and then the foot is made in such a way that it aligns itself as you install it. So when you go to put it on, you just put it up there in more or less the right direction, and then you swing this arm up and the foot's on. So one thing that's missing on this machine is this screw right here. So I have one, and it'll hold this plate in just fine, and I don't have a problem using it like this. But when I go to sell it, I'd like to have a screw in there. Do you know where I can get this screw? Maybe you have this screw and you'd like to sell it to me. Let me know down in the comments. I got a bobbin started here. I just put a full bobbin in there, and I'll just go and work on my project. And as I'm working on my project, this will fill up and it'll just kick off when it's done. You know, when I first saw this machine and that it had a clutch motor, I thought, I'm going to put a servo motor on this machine. But now that I've got it and I'm actually using it, I'm very happy with the level of control that this particular setup affords me. It's not the same as a servo. It's a very usable setup. So I'm just gonna leave this clutch motor on it. It's pretty nice and easy to, take your time with this setup. And then if I just, the way it is, if I just kind of start creeping up my stitch width, I'll just immediately start sewing a zigzag. A little wider and the widest. And when I'm doing a zigzag, or decorative stitching, the stitch length, I just kind of mess with it until it's doing what I think I want. So that just clicked off. So now that's all you have to sew before you get a full bobbin. So I've got a lot of thread left in the bobbin that's in the machine. So it doesn't take that long, just as long as it's taken me to sew 3.5 sides here. So this machine sews really nice and smooth, and this is a real nice machine if you can get a hold of one. And so I can see why people really like these. So that's it on the features of this machine. I'm going to do another video where I just sew all these stitches. I did that on another machine and some people seem to really like it, so I'm going to do that in a separate video, so stay tuned. Thanks a lot for watching.